Chosen one, listen. The battle for your soul has been raging in silence, and tonight, heaven has interrupted your path with this message. They tried to trap you in a false dimension, not with visible chains, but with illusions so subtle, they felt like reality itself, a world where lies dressed themselves as truth and shadows pretended to be light. Have you felt it? That strange pull in your spirit, as if something around you never fully made sense. Moments where the world applauded you, yet your soul felt empty. Seasons where doors opened, but none led to the place your heart was longing for. That was the prison of the false dimension. A cage made not of steel, but of deception. A stage crafted by the enemy, designed to make you forget your divine identity. But hear me clearly, the veil is tearing, the illusions are cracking, and your eyes are awakening to a truth so powerful it cannot be hidden anymore. Stay with me until the very end, because in this revelation, I will show you why you were targeted, why delays have stalked your life, why battles came against you that others never had to face, and most importantly, the final truth that turns the trap into your training ground. If your spirit bears witness, act in faith right now, like this video, subscribe, and in the comments, write these words: I refuse the illusion, declare it. Because the moment you speak it, the chains of deception begin to break. So prepare yourself. This is not just a message, this is your awakening. The first prison built around you was the veil of illusion. It did not come with walls or locks. It came with layers of lies. A fog so thick you could barely see your own reflection. They wanted you blind, blind to your worth, blind to your calling, blind to the destiny burning inside your spirit. Have you ever walked through a morning fog? The air feels heavy, the path hidden, and even the closest mountain disappears as though it never existed. That is what the false dimension tried to do to you. It made heaven seem silent. It made your future look uncertain. But remember this, just because the mountain is hidden does not mean it is gone. The veil was never truth, only a cover. The Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 4:4, "The God of this world has blinded the minds of unbelievers, to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ." The veil was not natural, it was spiritual, a weapon designed to block the light already declared over you. And yet, despite the fog, something in you refused to die. You still felt the pull. You still dreamed dreams that made no sense to others. You still carried an ache for something greater. That was eternity breaking through the illusion, the whisper of your true dimension calling you home. This is why your life never fit the pattern, why what satisfied others never satisfied you, why you could be surrounded by people and still feel like a stranger. Because you were not made for the false stage, you were made for the kingdom. Think of Moses. He grew up in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by idols and wealth. But something inside him knew, this is not who I am. He tried to blend in, but the fire of destiny would not let him. Eventually, the illusion shattered, and he stepped into his true assignment as deliverer. So it is with you. You tried to wear their masks. You tried to follow their rules. But the veil could not hold you. Your spirit would not be silenced. Now the fog is lifting. The veil is tearing. Heaven is saying, "Chosen one, you were never trapped in darkness. You were hidden until the appointed time." Take a deep breath. Feel this truth wash over you. The illusion is breaking, and the lies about who you are falling to the ground. But this was only the first prison, because if they could not keep you blind, they tried to convince you that you were late. If the veil of illusion could not blind you, the next trap was time itself. They whispered lies into your spirit. You're too late. You've missed your chance. Others have gone ahead and you'll never catch up. Have you felt that weight? The sense that life is slipping through your fingers, like sand falling from your hand. The enemy wanted you to measure your worth by the ticking of a clock instead of the eternal plan of God. But time in the kingdom does not bow to man's schedule. Heaven does not rush. Heaven does not delay. Heaven moves in divine appointment. Think of Joseph. Thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, locked in prison. Year after year, he watched his life disappear behind bars. By the world's clock, Joseph was late, but by heaven's time, he was right on schedule. In a single day, the prisoner became ruler. Genesis 41 tells us Pharaoh lifted him from the dungeon and placed him second over all Egypt. Chosen one, your waiting has not been wasted. Every season that felt stuck was not delay but preparation. The silence was a classroom. The wilderness a training ground. The years that felt empty were sharpening your spirit. The false dimension tried to trick you into believing you were behind. But Joel 2:25 declares, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Do you hear it? Even the years that felt lost are not gone. They are waiting to return, multiplied in the moment of your release. This is why you always felt restless. Your spirit knew there was more. You could not settle in a delayed timeline because destiny inside you was pulling on eternity. The enemy said, you are late. But heaven says, you are right on time. Pause here. Let that truth sink in. Every wasted year is about to bow before restoration. Every delay is about to break open into acceleration. But hear me. The manipulation of time was not the end of the trap. If the enemy could not blind your eyes or bind you to delay, he went after something deeper, your very name, your true identity. If they could not blind you with illusion, if they could not trap you in delay, their next strategy was to attack your identity. They tried to rename you, to redefine you, to convince you that you were ordinary when heaven had marked you extraordinary. Think of Daniel and his friends in Babylon. The king's servants stripped them of their Hebrew names and gave them Babylonian names. Daniel became Belteshazzar, Hananiah became Shadrach, Mishael became Meshach, Azariah became Abednego. Why? Because the enemy fears the power of your true name. A name given by heaven carries destiny. A false name creates confusion. The same battle has raged over you, chosen one. From childhood, voices tried to brand you with false labels. Too sensitive, too different, too broken. These were not descriptions. They were chains. Chains designed to make you forget the truth of Isaiah 43:1. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. You are not who the world said you are. You are not who the enemy tried to convince you to be. You are who heaven declared you to be before you were born. Jeremiah 1:5 says, Before I formed you in the womb I knew you, and before you were born I consecrated you. No lie, no label, no false name can erase what God sealed inside you. This is why you always felt like an outcast, why fitting in was impossible, why rejection followed you. Your identity was never designed to blend in. It was designed to carry weight in the spirit. Chosen one, pause here. Think back to every insult, every rejection, every false label. Those were not random attacks. They were targeted strikes against your name, because even in your silence, the enemy could see your light. But here is the truth. The more they attacked your name, the louder heaven whispered it. Every lie confirmed the truth. Every rejection proved your selection. Every false label highlighted that you were set apart. This is why you survived what others could not. Because you are marked. Marked for divine assignment. Marked with an identity that cannot be erased. Take courage. Lift your head. Heaven calls you chosen. Heaven calls you beloved. Heaven calls you by name. But if they could not erase your identity, they tried the next tactic. They tried to silence your voice. Because a chosen one who remembers their name will eventually speak. And when you speak, chains break. So the question becomes, what happens when they try to silence your fire? If they could not erase your identity, they tried to silence your voice. Because a chosen one who knows their name eventually begins to speak. And when you speak, you shift atmospheres. Your words pierce darkness. Your decrees make hell tremble. So they came for your voice. Through rejection, through betrayal, through seasons when no one seemed to listen or care. They tried to convince you that silence was safer, that hiding your thoughts, burying your visions, locking your fire inside was the only way to survive. But silence was never your portion. Your voice is a weapon. Your testimony is a sword. Heaven has placed fire on your tongue. Do you remember Jeremiah? He tried to hold back the words burning inside him. But in Jeremiah 29 he confesses, "If I say, I will not mention him or speak any more in his name, there is in my heart a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I am weary with holding it in, and I cannot." That same fire burns in you, chosen one. Even when you tried to stay quiet, even when you thought your words were too heavy, too strange, too misunderstood, the fire refused to die. That is why silence felt like pressure, why unspoken thoughts haunted you. Because heaven never designed you to be muted. Heaven designed you to release sound. Think of the caged bird. Though trapped behind iron bars, it still sings. Its song defies captivity with every note. So it has been with you. Even in silence, your spirit has sung. Even when no one understood, heaven heard your sound. Chosen one, your silence is breaking. The false dimension cannot hold your voice any longer. Every decree of fear is being overturned. Every whisper that told you to hide is being silenced. The fire in your bones is about to roar. But this is only the beginning. Because once your voice awakens, the battle shifts to another level. The war moves inward, into the very arena of your thoughts. So let me ask you this. If your voice carries fire, what happens when the enemy wages war inside your mind? The most dangerous battlefield you have ever faced is not out there. It is here, in your mind. If they could not blind your eyes, if they could not delay your destiny, if they could not erase your name or silence your voice, then they tried to build a prison inside your thoughts. The false dimension works like a mirror maze. Every reflection looks like you, but distorted. Every path seems open, but leads to a dead end. Confusion fills the air. Doubt echoes inside. And suddenly, you begin to question what heaven already spoke. Have you felt this, chosen one? Those nights when your heart believed, but your thoughts betrayed you. Moments when you knew God had called you, but your mind whispered, maybe it was just imagination. That tug of war was not weakness, it was warfare. Romans 12:2 declares, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the will of God, good, acceptable, and perfect." Your mind is not the enemy. It is the battlefield where transformation happens. The false dimension tried to plant lies, but heaven's word is the seed that uproots deception. Think of Elijah. He called down fire from heaven. He prayed, and rain returned after years of drought. Yet one whisper from Jezebel drove him into a cave, trembling, asking God to take his life. One thought shifted his destiny, but in the cave, God's voice broke through. Not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in a gentle whisper. Chosen one, heaven has been whispering to you too. In the chaos of your mind, his still small voice never left. Every scripture you remembered, every dream that returned, every sudden peace that made no sense, these were not accidents. They were reminders that the battlefield was never meant to destroy you, but to sharpen your discernment. You have survived thoughts that drowned others. You endured lies that shattered many. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still searching, still chosen. The false dimension cannot hold your mind. The Spirit of truth is breaking through. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." That sound mind is rising in you now. Chosen one, place your hand on your head if you can. Declare with me, my mind belongs to heaven. My thoughts align with truth. No lie can live here anymore. Do you feel that shift? The chains breaking, the fog lifting, the maze collapsing. But hear me. When your mind awakens, something greater stirs. Because if the battlefield of thought could not destroy you, then destiny itself begins to awaken inside you. And that, chosen one, is the enemy's greatest fear. So I ask you this: what happens when the very trap they set becomes the fire that forges your destiny? This is the moment the enemy feared most, the moment your destiny awakens. Every trap built around you, the illusion, the delay, the false identity, the silence, the battle in your mind, had one purpose: to keep you from stepping into your assignment. Because once destiny awakens, nothing can stop a chosen one aligned with heaven. Think of the seed buried in the ground. It looks dead, covered in dirt, hidden in darkness. But within that silence, within the crushing weight of soil, life pushes upward. The seed does not remain a seed. It breaks. It stretches. It becomes what it was always meant to be. That, chosen one, is you. The false dimension was the soil. The pressure you endured was the covering. But instead of killing you, it prepared you. It forced your roots deeper. It made your spirit unshakable. And now the breakthrough is here. Isaiah 61 declares, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Do you hear it? Heaven is not asking you to wait. Heaven is commanding you to rise. Look at Jesus in the wilderness. 40 days of hunger, 40 days of testing, every lie of the enemy thrown against him. But when he walked out, Luke 4 says he returned in the power of the Spirit. The wilderness became his launching pad. The test became his testimony. Chosen one, the same is true for you. The false dimension you survived only increased your authority. You carry scars, but those scars prove survival. You carry fire, but that fire was forged in battle. You carry wisdom, but that wisdom was paid for in tears. This is why you are dangerous to the enemy, because you are no longer naive. You see through illusions, you recognize the traps, and you know the sound of heaven's voice. Your destiny is not just about you. It is about the lives connected to your obedience, the chains that will fall when you speak, the generations that will shift because you chose to rise. This is your awakening, your alignment, your release. Every false prison is crumbling, and now heaven is placing the mantle of destiny on your shoulders. But hear me. There is one final truth, the last revelation that ties everything together, the secret they never wanted you to see. Because once you grasp this final key, the false dimension loses all power. Are you ready for the unveiling? Are you ready to step fully into the realm they tried to keep hidden from you? Then lean in, because the greatest revelation is about to be released. The final revelation, the truth they never wanted you to see. The false dimension was never real. It only had power because you believed it. It was an illusion, a cage of shadows and whispers. And the moment you awaken, it crumbles. That is why you were targeted. Because if you discovered that the kingdom is within you, the lies could no longer hold you. Luke 17:21 says, "The kingdom of God is within you." Do you understand? The true dimension was never outside of you. It has always been inside your spirit, placed there by God Himself. Your survival was not random. Your struggles were not punishment. They were preparation. Every tear watered the seed. Every delay strengthened your roots. Every battle carved authority into your voice. You are not the victim of a false dimension. You are the breaker of it. Chosen one, lift your head. Your story is not one of defeat, it is one of unveiling. You are proof that light cannot be hidden, that truth cannot be buried, that destiny cannot be denied. So hear this decree: you are free, you are chosen, you are rising, and you will walk in alignment with the kingdom that cannot be shaken. Take a moment and declare it with me. I refuse the illusion. I walk in the true dimension. I am chosen, I am free, and I am aligned with heaven. Let these words seal your spirit. Let this truth anchor your heart. And now, chosen one, I invite you to make this more than just a video. Like this message, not as routine, but as agreement. Subscribe, not just to a channel, but as a prophetic step into alignment with the voices heaven sends to guide you. And in the comments, declare, "I walk in the true dimension." When you speak it, the false dimension loses its grip forever. Share this message with another chosen one. Not all will understand, but the ones awakening will feel it in their soul. Your obedience could be the key that sets another captive free. This is your moment. This is your unveiling. The false has fallen, the true has risen, and heaven smiles upon you. Now walk. Walk as one who carries light. Walk as one who carries destiny. Walk as the chosen one you were always meant to be.